This tutorial is going to cover how to set up your Creator Companion, or ALCOM if you use ALCOM, to use Retro's assets. In order to use all of my stuff, we need to install a few different repositories such that when you install my packages from VCC, all of your dependencies get resolved properly. Now, we need 3 different repos essentially. We need my repo, which is the one I have on the screen right here. It contains my utilities, it contains my DRM things, it contains like a bunch of library stuff, and this will probably get bigger over time. We also need the Hey repo. We use Hey's stuff mainly for their animator as code package, which basically allows us to make animator controllers and animations and stuff like that via C#. We do that because I can't realistically make a controller or a bunch of animations in a one-size-fits-all context without really sacrificing performance or limiting functionality. Now, thirdly, we need modular avatars repo. We don't use a whole lot of modular avatars components or anything like that, but we do use its NDMF framework, which, to make a long story short, it is a framework that allows us to mutate and modify your avatar during the build phase. If you ever have used VRC Fury, which you probably have, you'll know that whenever it builds the avatar, it doesn't actually change all of the objects permanently in the scene. It makes like a copy of the avatar. And a lot of my stuff will use that and will leverage off that, so if I am modifying your avatar and whatnot, I don't do it in a destructive way. Now, to get started with all of these, we are going to assume that you have Creator Companion or ALCOM already installed, as well as a Unity editor. We won't be getting into Unity today, but it does assume that you have Creator Companion or ALCOM, which, if you don't know what ALCOM is, it is a user-made alternative to Creator Companion that does everything that Creator Companion can do, plus some bonus features and a lot of bug fixes. So, I use ALCOM because I am a Linux user and I don't use Windows, and Creator Companion does not run on Linux. However, that shouldn't change much for you. The UIs are very, very similar, so if you are using Creator Companion, you can safely follow this tutorial. I also recommend going to ALCOM and giving it a shot if you're tired of Creator Companion doing weird things or being slow, as ALCOM fixes a lot of issues and is just overall faster, but is not required to use my stuff by all means. With that being said, let's get into it. Okie dokie. So, to get started, we will do my repo first. Now, all of these links will be in the description, but mine is very easy to remember. It is vpm.bitforge.net up here. And most of the VPM sites, not all of them, but most of them will have a add to VCC button. Not all of them, but most do. So adding mine is pretty easy. You add to VCC, and I already have mine in here, so it's going to yell at me, but it would ask you to add it, and you would hit OK. Now, in terms of that, sometimes when you select these buttons, sorry, I couldn't speak there for a second, they won't actually open up Creator Companion, or it'll open up Creator Companion and then immediately close. Like, there's a bunch of issues with Creator Companion. Or if you happen to be one of the very, very, very few and rare individuals that happens to do avatar development on Linux, sometimes ALCOM doesn't even open. Now, not all hope is lost. You can manually add these repos. It's very easy to do, so I will run that through real quick. You'll need to copy the repo indexing. So, for example, I will copy this one. And you can open up your Creator Companion or ALCOM. Again, your Creator Companion might look a little bit different than mine, but you're going to go to your settings and you're going to find where your repositories are. For me, it's in resources, but it might be in a different button for you. I haven't looked at Creator Companion in a while. So once you have it copied to your clipboard, you can hit add repository and you can just paste it in there and it'll probably yell at me. Yep. And Bob's your uncle. It's the same thing for the other repos we're about to go through. So once you have that, we will move on to Hayes repo. Again, I will link this in the description, but it's right here under ALCOM, formerly VCC. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Hay is one of the developers of ALCOM. I can't remember, but they have this giant danger warning saying that they won't support Creator Companion, and they're right. If you have issues and you try to report it to them, and they find out you are using Creator Companion, they're not really going to help you. But from my experience, this does work inside Creator Companion, but I have ran into issues from time to time with invalid dependency resolutions and a whole bunch of weird things. But I digress. So to install Hayes repo, there's this magic button up here, and we will open it. And similar story, I don't have this repo already, so I will hit add repository, and we get that. Similarly, if your button to open up Creator Companion or ALCOM doesn't work, you can just copy the link here and add it manually, like we do with the Bitforge repo. Now we move on to Modular Avatar. Similar story, they have a tab for ALCOM right here that instructs you to manually add this. You can still do that. You can still copy this and add it manually if you want to, but ALCOM now has support for VCC links, so you can just press this button like all the other ones, press open link, and then I already have mine, so we're done with that. Once you have everything and you can verify everything, all the repos are in your package manager, we can go to a sample avatar. We'll go to my Yin one here. And sometimes you might have to refresh it if it's not pulling up stuff. Try restarting Creator Companion on ALCOM. There's a refresh button right there. And we need to double make sure that everything is in here. So there we go. Retro DRM is in there. All of my KVS stuff, my library's in there. All of Hayes stuff's in there. And then we have our hierarchy, which I use that. It's my own package. And we have, let's see, we make sure we have BD's mist tool. So there we go. There is modular avatar and NDMF there. So as long as you have those packages available, then all of my assets should be able to be installed on your projects, provided you have the right version of the SDK and whatnot. Anyways, I hope this video has helped you. I'm not very great at editing or creating these kinds of videos. This channel is a very new one, obviously, and I plan to make a bunch of tutorials for my assets and stuff that I create as time goes on. But I also want to make a lot of videos covering really advanced topics. If you're a Linux user, more power to you. I will be making a lot of videos covering VRChat development as well as getting VR to work on Linux and whatnot, because I have hit many roadblocks and I want to share the knowledge that I have. But until then, I wish you a great day.